I like it, girl, I like it. Keep on like it, girl, I like it. I like it, girl, I like it. Keep, girl. Like it, girl, I like it, girl, I like it, girl, I like it, keep, girl. What's up, guys? It's your girl Miracle, and I would like to welcome you to my new YouTube channel. That sounds crazy to say. My new YouTube channel, M3 Unscripted. And you guys know how this goes. The first thing I need you to do is first subscribe to the channel. Duh. I need you to subscribe so I can make sure that we can build this community, so we can have these discussions. We can talk about hot topics, and we can talk about everything else that we want to talk about. Then I need you to like this video. I need you to like this video because I want YouTube to know that I'm here. Duh. And then last but not least, I need you to turn on that notification bell. And that's going to let you know anytime I post something or anytime I go live. I don't want you to miss it. So what can you expect from this channel? Good question, y'all. I promise when I was thinking about I wanted to start this channel, I said, I came up with the name M3 Unscripted because I want it to be just that. Sometimes I may come with very intentional content, and then sometimes I may come off the cuff because my brain is always going. I'm always thinking about something, and sometimes people want to hear what I have to say. So I said, why not just start this channel? So this channel is going to be a mix of things. For those who don't know me, my name is Miracle Marquita Malone. So that's where the M3 came from. And I had to remember that everybody doesn't know that, because someone recently asked me, Miracle, why do people call you M3? Well, that's why. Miracle Marquita Malone. And it's so funny because I'm also so layered. I kind of think of M3, I think about a triangle. And I think about how layered I am. The first part of me is I'm very business. I am a corporate professional, if you want to call it that. And I have been with the current organization. I won't say the name, but I've been with the current organization for about almost 10 years now. And aside from that, I'm also an entrepreneur. So I also have my own online women shoe store. And I don't like to call it a boutique because boutique means small, and don't nothing I do be small. Everything I do is big. And so it may be small now, but you just wait and see. It's going to be big. And so the name of my business is Shoesy Bougie. Now let me stop because I done heard all kind of pronunciations. What is it? Shoe boogie? No. Shoesy boogie? No, it's not. Shoesy, shoesy like choosy, shoesy bougie. That is the name, and I'll give y'all the backstory on the name later. But that's my shoe store. You can follow the platform on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok and Facebook. And like I said, it's a women's shoe store. I like to find the statement shoes. I'm not gonna even lie to you. Like, I like to kind of cater to some of the more comfortable styles because I have learned that women want style and they want comfort. But I still like I like a moment. I still like a shoe moment. So if you're one of those women, you're a shoe lover as well, go follow the channels, follow the platform. You can visit the website. It's shoesybougie.com. And it's also linked to all of my social media profiles. And then, you can shop with me there. So that's my professional side. But then I also have a ministry side. I am a licensed missionary in the Church of God in Christ. And I was licensed in 2022. But aside from that, I mean, I'm a church kid, born and raised in the church. I was raised by my mom, who's a evangelist in the Church of God in Christ for over 35 years. So born and raised in the church. Something is what they say: train up a child the way they should go. That's me. And so, born and raised in the church, I'm very active in my church. And it's not even just about church work. I really do believe in God, and I really do trust God, and I follow God, and everything that I am and everything that I have is because of Him. So, because of that, not only is this platform for me, but I told God that I would make sure that I honor Him even with this platform. So, while I may get into some things that may be a little fun to discuss, keep that in mind. It's a God thing. And then last but not least, I mean, I'm fun. My lifestyle, I believe in balance. I believe in being authentic. And so when I'm not working, I am sort of a workaholic. I think I have to admit that. But when I'm not doing business or when I'm not doing ministry work, I'm fun. I'm a great time. I won't even say I'm a good time. I'm a great time. And I like hanging out with my friends. I like dancing. I love traveling. I love shoe shopping. I would sell shoes. I would go shoe shopping even if I didn't have a business. That is like one of my absolute most favorite things to do. But and I'm a homebody. Most people would probably think, Miracle, you're not an extrovert. No, I'm not. I am very much so introverted. I am the person who, if I worked in the office, I kind of work from home. But if I had to go to the office and I came home on a Friday at 5, I wouldn't have to leave my house again until Monday morning. That's just how much of an introvert I am. Like, I loved the pandemic. We can go back to quarantine today and I would be totally okay with it because I just enjoy my space. I enjoy being at home. I love me, so I know how to entertain me. I love it. So that is me in a nutshell. And like I said, I'm a layered individual. And one thing that I had to tell myself going into this year, I was like, Miracle, you don't have to. You're not required to do one thing. Everybody tries to say, like, you have to do one thing, you have to find something and specialize in, or you can only focus on this. I can do whatever I want. If I want to be a corporate professional by day and a TikToker by night, I'm gonna do that. If I decide that I want to go to dental school one day, which I very well might do, like, that's what I'm gonna do. And so I don't put limits on myself. I feel like the world does enough of that. So for me, it's about doing everything that I want to do. And so with this channel, I love YouTube. When everybody, social media, everybody loves Facebook. Some people like Instagram, some people like Snapchat. I be in YouTube. I be in these YouTube streets. I know all who the top vloggers are. I watch the different podcasts. I watch all the different circles of YouTube. And so I feel like this is the platform that I most relate to. And so I was like, Miracle, let's take your talents to YouTube. So that is what you can expect from this channel. It's gonna be a mix. We're gonna talk about. I put an anonymous link in my bio on Instagram, and that link, it is indeed anonymous. And you know what? Some of y'all be trying to try me because some of the stuff y'all be posting out, I'm just know I'm only ignoring it because I'm safe. But please don't try me, okay? But anyway, I put the anonymous link in my bio, and thank you to everybody who submitted questions. I really do appreciate it because you guys submitted some good stuff. Some of the stuff I was like, I'm not gonna touch this topic. But then I thought about it. I was like, no, yeah, you are. We're gonna talk about it. So you guys submitted some great topics, and that's gonna be in another video. I'm gonna discuss one of the topics that you guys submitted, and I think it's gonna be a pretty heavy one. So again, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. If you're someone who likes to listen to YouTube channels like me, you like podcasts, then I think you're gonna enjoy it. And again, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. That's my new slogan. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. And that is going to be what my first video is going to be about. I was trying to think about, like, what do we want the first video to be? And I mean, in YouTube, when you're first getting started, or especially right now with all the Diddy stuff that's going on, like, people want to have like a hot topic. They want something that's going to grab everybody's attention, something that's going to be salacious, something that's going to be juicy. And while some of that stuff may come, I was thinking, you know what? This first video needs to be about faith. It needs to be about faith. And I came to that conclusion because I truly have a testimony. And um I felt like this was the perfect time for me to finally tell it. I've written it down, I've typed it up, and I just never found the right opportunity to really tell it. So, you guys are lucky. Some of you guys, if you know me, you may have heard some pieces of this. And if you don't know me, this will be your first time hearing it. But I don't think I've ever given anybody all the nitty gritty details of just the last 10 years. One of the questions that I received, and I guess we may talk about it again, but one of the questions that I received was, how did I know in my adult life? What was the defining moment in my adult life when I knew God was real? Sit back. I'm about to tell you. All right, here we go. 2015, I was in New York with some of my line sisters, and of course, I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So we were in New York City for what is it when the ball dropped? New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve. We were in New York, and we brought in the new year. We had such a good time. I will never do it again. I think that is the most overrated experience ever. I will never do that again. It was freezing. And then, time out. Somebody had the dumb idea that we were going to camp out in Times Square until the ball dropped. So we went to the middle of Times Square in the morning and called ourselves going to stay there all the way until midnight. Y'all, we went out there 15 minutes before our fingers and toes were about to fall off. That was the dumbest thing we could have ever done. But I mean, it was an experience. I say everybody should experience it, but that's not something I ever have to do again. But anyway, um, it was in that moment because I'm originally from Mississippi. I don't, small town girl, but I can honestly say I always knew that I wasn't going to be in a small town. I never saw me like in a New York, Miami, LA type of place, but I knew that I wasn't small town French fry. Love where I'm from. I love home. I love, 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 love home. And not because of the place, I love the people. I love my family. I love my friends. I love our roots. I love home for what it stands for. But I just knew that I wasn't created to be in a small city. And so after I graduated from college, I went to Jackson State University, the best HBCU in the world. After I graduated from college, worked a few years there in Jackson. I moved to Memphis, Tennessee. Went to New York in 2015 with my friends, and I knew when I moved to Memphis that that was a pit stop. I knew it was a pit stop, and I knew that it was just a matter of time before I was going to move to Texas. And I knew I wanted to move to Texas. I was actually going to move to Texas at um, before I left Mississippi, but I just didn't have just the pieces weren't coming together. And I said, you know what? Let me just move to Memphis because that's where all my family had relocated to while I was in college. And so Memphis was just kind of a pit stop for me to get some dirt on my resume so that I can get to Texas. And so 2015, fast forward to 2015, I knew it was time for me to go. I knew it was time for me to go. I had no plan. I had no idea what I was gonna do. What I didn't know what I was gonna do. I knew that I wanted to be in a corporate setting. And Memphis is great, but you have to know that every city has an industry, and Memphis is more so distribution, if I could call it that. That's kind of what the vibe that I got, and so I just knew Memphis wasn't for me. And so I had two options. I flipped a coin. I was like, okay, Miracle, if you want to go the finance route, you're going to go to North Carolina. You're going to go to Charlotte. I said, if you want to go the healthcare route, you're going to go to Texas. Flip the coin. Texas won. And so after I got back from New York, I kind of started putting. I knew that it was time for me to go. And when I started applying for jobs, and I was getting callbacks, but nobody would hire me. Like I would get callbacks, we got your application, they want to interview you. But I wasn't landing anything. The plane wasn't landing. And so I was like, okay, God, I want to move to Texas. I need your help. So this is where the faith comes in. Um, I put in my 2 weeks notice on my job. I had zero plan. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I put in my 2 weeks notice on my job, um, and then my car started acting up. My car started acting up, and I just so happened I had a friend that worked at a car dealership, and he said, "I'm gonna try to help you out." He was like, "Bring your car up here. I'm gonna see what we can do." And I drove. I'll never forget. I drove my truck up to the Toyota dealership, and he said when I drove up, he was like, "Miracle, I thought the car was at least like in decent condition." You know how you say, "I'm gonna ride a car until the wheels fall off." The wheels were literally falling off. I don't even know how I got to the dealership, but I got to the dealership, and if anybody has ever bought a car, if anybody's ever bought a car, you know that is one of the longest, most stressful processes sometimes. Like, depending on what your situation is, it can be so long and drawn out. I just put in my 2 weeks notice on my job. So technically, I don't have no job. My credit score, I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it was like a 603. Not the type of credit score you can get and walk in and just get whatever you want. I ain't had no money. I ain't had no money. Like I ain't had no down payment. All I had was the car that I trudged trudged on the lot. And y'all, in an hour, I drove off the lot in a new car. And I was like, Lord, what? Now, given it was a Toyota Corolla. However, it was new and it was mine. No money down, no cosigner, no credit. And I drove off the lot in a new car. And I was like, okay, God, you must be in this. And so after that, kept applying for jobs here in Dallas. And the recruiters would call me and they would say, Miracle, can you interview tomorrow? And I would say, yeah. And I'm thinking, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. How I'm gonna be in Texas in the morning by whatever time for this interview. But I would make it happen. I would get in my car and drive 6.5, 7 hours to Dallas, come interview and drive right back. I know within that first month of having my car, I drove back and forth to Texas within that month 4 times. And I feel like that was a God thing. I think I got approved for the car because God knew that I was gonna need transportation. And so for the first month, I was when I say I was putting miles on that car, that Corolla did this big one. I was putting miles on that car. And so I got back. I still wasn't landing a job though. Still wasn't landing a job. I had put a Texas address on my resume to make it seem like I lived here and everything. Still couldn't land anything. And so I told my mom, you know how old school mamas are. They want you to have everything lined up before you leave. And this would have been honestly my first time living outside of the same city. Outside of college. College don't really count, but like moving away on my own, away from family. So it was the first time. And so my mom was like, I really want you to land a job before you go. And so I was like, Mama, I think I gotta go. I just gotta go. I was like, I feel like if I just go, there's gonna be some fire up under me and I'm gonna work even harder to find a job. And so I had the car. Um, I was like, okay, now I need a place to stay. I was determined. I'm like, I'm moving to Texas. I ended up when I was traveling back and forth from Memphis to interview. I was staying with one of my friends. She was an advisor at the time in college, and so she lived here, and she would allow me to sleep on her couch when I would come. So I would come interview, sleep on her couch, get up and leave. And so I seen her apartment. I was like, but her apartment cute or whatever. I was like, I'm gonna apply for her apartment. Call the people, call the apartment people, and I was like, "Hey, my name is da 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 da. Do you have a 1 bedroom apartment available?" It's old school, so this is 2015. So I could have just went on the internet and googled it, but I picked up the phone and called. And she said, "Yeah, we have a 1 bedroom available. It's available. I think it was like June 2015. She's like, it'll be available in June. Yada yada yada. You can go online, submit your application, play the fee, da da da, all the things." And so I said, cool. And so I said, how much is? I was like, and then how much do I need to make to be approved? And she said, you have to make at least 3 times the rent. Y'all know how that's so that's pretty standard. And so I said, and then I need to provide you guys check stubs. Keep in mind, y'all, I ain't got no job. I don't have no job and I ain't got no credit. So I'm doing all of this on a whim. And I said, so I need to submit check stubs, thinking like, oh, this finna be the roadblock. She said, put on your application that you make 3 times the rent. She said it just like that. And I was like, oh, she hooking me up. She hooking me up. She hooking me up. I was like, okay, cool. So filled out the application, did 3 times rent, tried to add a little bit more to not put it down to the cent. And submitted my application and it was approved. I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay, I got a car, I got an apartment. And so I packed up everything in a U-Haul. I literally, on the day I left, I put my hands on the wheel. This is right before I got on the road. And I said, God, it's me and you. Not in my head, not in my spirit. I said it out loud. I said, God, it's me and you. got on the road, came to Dallas. I think I got here Cinco de Mayo 2015 was my first full day here in Dallas, and I stayed on my friend's couch for about 3 weeks. It wasn't even a full month, about 3 weeks until my apartment was ready. And I was working at this job in McKinney. Yeah, it was like an EKG technician. I don't know what I was thinking about. I ain't had no business in that working at that job was $10 an hour. Now keep in mind, when I left Memphis, I was making $15.30 an hour. I came to Dallas and was making $10 an hour. Now I was working part time at the Gap, so I transferred my part time job at the Gap. I worked in retail for like 10 years, but I was working a job for $10 an hour, and then they tried to like spice it up and say, "Well, if you work the graveyard shift, you can make an extra dollar." What? I'm like, no, this is not gonna work. The only reason I even took the job is because my mama was like, just take it until you find something else. So again, they old school. You just want to have something. She said, just take it until you find something else. So I was working an EKG job and I was working at the Gap. And I remember, so here it is again. I said, I went home. I went to my friend's apartment on a Tuesday night. I'll never forget it. It was a Tuesday night. I laid down on her couch, like face up. I said, God, I did not move to Dallas to make less than what I was making in Memphis. I need you to open up another door. He had already got me a car, no money, no credit, no proof of income. You already got me an apartment. Again, no proof of income, no nothing, no cosign or nothing. I'm like, no, I need a job. So I took, in true Black people fashion, I took my laptop to work the next day. Took my laptop to work, and I was sitting on the front row of them people job applying for jobs right in their face. I don't know if they thought I was taking notes or what, but I was applying for jobs. I applied, so I prayed on a Tuesday night. Wednesday, I applied for jobs. Thursday, I got a call back. The recruiter called me and she said, have you ever heard of this company? And I was like, yeah, oh my God, it would be so awesome if I could interview with them. Da 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 da. I had never heard of this company ever. But I called my sister and she was like, Miracle, you want that one. You want that one. They're like a Fortune top 10 company. You want that one. And so then I started preparing. I was like, okay, let me make sure I'm on my square. Prayed Tuesday, applied Wednesday, interviewed Thursday. No, got the call back Thursday from the recruiter. Friday morning, I went in and interviewed. I don't remember what I said in that interview. I was making up stuff off the top of my head. I was just whatever they wanted to hear because I'm like, I need to get this job because this $10 an hour is about to go away, and I'm tired of working at the mall. I need to do something. Interviewed that Friday morning. They called me back that afternoon and offered me the job in 3 days. Again, prayed Tuesday, applied Wednesday, called back Thursday, new job that Friday. So technically, in 3 days, God came through with a job. And so I ended up, and I've been on that job ever since then. I'm still with that company today. And I remember even when I got that job, God just did some of the most amazing things. When I say I got promoted, I've been at the company 9 years. In the first 6, I got promoted 5 times. Now, given I'm a boss worker, like I work hard and I do my job and I do it well. But 5 promotions, like it was like I was getting promoted every single year. Positions that I didn't even technically qualify for. I remember when I first started the job, like I always look around and kind of see, who on the team, what's what. And there were some very tenured people on the team. And I knew if something became available, you're not the first one. You're not the first person up. Like it's people who's been here way longer than you, have way more experience than you. So if something become available, you're not the first one up for a promotion. And the very first time they actually had a role that became open, it was like a mid tier, like a team lead role. I just knew I wasn't gonna get it because I'm like, it's other people that's ahead of me. When I say God moved people out of the way, and I mean that in every aspect. I don't mean like I'm talking about solid people. Didn't do nothing to me. It's not like he made my enemies my footstool. It wasn't nothing like that. It was just like different circumstances where people either didn't want the job or didn't qualify for the job, or like, and I even had one person was like, Miracle, I'm not gonna apply. I want you to apply. And then I got the job. And then every time, like ever since then, it just went up, up and up and up and up. And every time I got ready to go to the end of the line, God would be like, nope, come back to the front. And 9 years ago, I left Memphis, no credit, no money, a piece of car, and no plan. And 9 years later, God has superseded anything I could have expected. I remember, for everybody who like to journal and write down stuff, I remember I wrote in my journal, and I wish I could find it. If I could find it, I would take a picture of it and post it. But I cannot find it because I've moved so much, from place to place over the last few years. I wrote down everything that I wanted. So y'all know how we do. We write a list of everything that we want to manifest. I don't believe in manifesting. I believe that, God will do what you ask him to do if your heart is aligned with him. But I had a list of all the things that I wanted. I told God that I wanted a house. I told him that I wanted to move to Texas. I told him that I wanted to have my own business. I told him, God is crazy. I said, God, I want to make at least $75,000 a year, just in case I'm a single mama, so I can still take care of my baby. I don't know why I put that down in that journal, as if God is gonna bless me with, like, he's gonna bless me to be a single mama. But I really had wrote down, I was like, Lord, if this ends up happening to me, where I end up having to be a single mother and I have to raise a child of my own, I want to make enough money so I can take care of me and my child. I literally wrote that down, and among other things. And I can honestly say, because of faith and because I trusted God, every single thing on that list he has given me above and beyond what I could have expected. And it still blows my mind today that I don't really like to boast or brag, because it's not about boasting and bragging. When I left Memphis, I was making $15.30 an hour. And that's insane to me, because again, this was just a leap of faith. And so everything that I do now, I know that if my heart is aligned with what God wants for me, if I know that it's in his plan for my life, because you have to hear God. Like, I know a lot of people believe in manifesting, and they like to just monkey see what monkey do and do what they see other people do. I'm not that person. I have to hear God. I have to consult God, because the word says, in all thy ways acknowledge him. And so I consult God for everything. Sometimes if I lose my phone, I'm like, all right, Holy Ghost, where my phone at? Like, sometimes if it's coming down to just the smallest of decisions, I still consult God, because I know if God is in it, he's going to see me through all the way to the end. And so, because I trusted God, because I activated my faith, like, I'm in a, like, my life is great. And I'm still achieving things that blow my mind. When I started my business, I remember I started my business during the pandemic. And during the pandemic, I, again, in my journal, and I was talking to God about some of the things I wanted to do. And God sent me back to my journal, and he said, what don't you have now? When I looked at my journal, I had all this list of things that I didn't have, all the stuff that I didn't have. And I literally went back to my journal, and I was like, website, check. Graphic designer, check. Photographer, check. Like, all the things that I didn't have, I had, like, right up under my nose. God has surrounded me with every resource that I needed in order to start my business. So I was able to start my business during the pandemic. And I might have to do a separate video to talk about that, because that still blows my mind how that came about. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a video about that, because I get a lot of questions about from young ladies saying they want to start a business and they don't know where to start. And while I understand why some people charge for that information, because now that I'm in it, I understand the hard work that goes into it. And so everybody doesn't want to just give you the tricks of the trade just because you ask. And let's just be honest, some people don't want to work. They just want you to package it up, put a bow on it, and give it to them. And some of us just did not have that luxury. So I can understand why some people don't want to give away that information. But I don't mind sharing information because I want to be to somebody else what I wish someone had been to me. And so I don't mind sharing that information, but just the way I launched my business, the way I catapulted into ministry, that's not something that I was really trying to do, but I felt like that was the next step where the God led me. And so just everything that has just evolved since I activated my face, just it just really blows my mind. And so I told that story because um, I feel like there is somebody else who's gonna see this video. They're gonna see this video, they're gonna hear it, and they're probably in that same space of wanting to take a step of faith and they just haven't done it. Sometimes nothing disheartens me more than seeing people who are so smart, so intelligent, so attractive, have all the resources that they need. They have the personality, they have the mindset, they have everything that they need, but they don't step out and do the things that they want to do because of fear. They're scared. They feel like um, they're not good enough, or they're scared that it may not work out. But what if it does? What if it does? I see so many people on social media that are just like branching out and doing stuff and no plan. Like now you see this set. Time out. I gotta give a quick shout out to one of my friends. All of my friends have been super supportive with my idea with coming up with all of this. It literally came to be within the last 3 weeks. But when I bought the camera, I bought a camera and a mic. I said, I'm starting a YouTube channel. What you gonna talk about? I don't know, but I'm starting a YouTube channel. And I was just gonna buy a little $10 set from Amazon, a little background, a little backdrop, and I was just gonna sit and talk. And one of my friends, Equanda, aka Muff, she said in the group chat, she said, "No, ma'am." She said, "That's not how you do." And I was like, Ugh, "You're right. That's not how I do." But that's for me because I have a standard that I try to hold myself to. But you don't have to have everything to start. You don't have to have everything to start. If all you got is enough money to get 3 dresses and you want to start that boutique, baby, buy them 3 dresses and flip them. When I started my shoe store, I had whew, 3 styles, 3 styles, and I think 2 of them was the same style, 2 different colors, and I just passed it off as 3 different styles. Like, and over time, my inventory built up. Over time, I was able to get more of the branding, the all the things that make a brand pretty. When I first moved here, like I just said, I didn't have much. I was sleeping on an air mattress for the first month. I couldn't even afford to bring my stuff back from Memphis across, and to get a U-Haul and bring my stuff from Memphis. It was a journey, but I didn't let that stop me from moving forward. And so for whoever who may watch this video, you may listen to this, just do it. Just do it. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. Even this is a step of faith because I don't know what's going to happen with this platform. I don't know how it's going to evolve. I don't know who it's going to reach. I don't know what it's going to do, but I'm doing it. And so whoever is listening to this, I want you to activate your faith. I want you to talk to God and say, Lord, what I'm ready to do this, or God, what is it that you have for my life so that I can do it? Because again, it's so many people that are just sitting on gifts, so many people sitting on ideas, so many people who are just stagnant, all because you feel like you lack confidence, or you're just allowing fear to overtake you. Don't let fear keep you stuck. If I was fearful, I'd still probably be in Memphis. Not the job that I had was a cute job. I love the people that I work with. Again, Memphis, it was all about the people. I love the people that I work with. But I knew that wasn't what God had for me. And if I had allowed fear of moving to Dallas and not knowing anybody, moving to Dallas and being afraid to, apply for things that may be out of my wheelhouse or out of my experience, I would still be somewhere living a pretty basic life. It ain't nothing basic about me, period. But I would have never walked into ministry. I would have never walked into being an entrepreneur. I would have never attained some of the things that I've attained, and I definitely would be sitting here in front of this camera on YouTube. And so that's that. I hope that helped you. I hope you learned a little bit about me. I hope that once you finish this video, I hope you go back and think about what you really want to do. And I hope that it inspires you to move forward with whatever it is in your heart to do. I hope it inspires you to be the best version of you. I hope it inspires you to just do it. Don't let anything hold you back. And even now, with me still walking in faith with things, I had to tell myself just today, I said, Miracle, do not allow perfection to hinder progression. Things don't have to be perfect, because I can be very nitpicky. Yeah, I changed clothes right before this video because I thought I looked fat. But I changed clothes and I was almost 2 seconds from saying, I don't want to do it. And I was like, nope, you are not going to allow perfection to hinder progression. You're going to do it anyway. Put on a t-shirt and some jeans. Let's go. And so don't allow things to hinder you. Don't allow circumstances to hinder you. Don't allow people to hinder you. Don't allow fake friends, to hinder you. Like, I'm very, very aware of people that are in my circles or people that I call friends. And I know which voices to listen to and which ones to mute, because everybody don't want to see you win, and everybody isn't on your team. And that doesn't make them not your friend. That just means that you know what side of the room to put them on. But you got to listen to God above everybody, and then surround yourself with wise counsel, and surround yourself with people, I dare say it, that are doing better than you. Now, that doesn't mean that you want to be a climber and you only associate yourself with certain types of people. I'm not saying that, but you should, if you're trying to launch a business, or if there's something you're trying to do, you need to surround yourself with people who are motivated, people who are driven, people who are ambitious, because those are the people that you're going to glean from, and those are going to be the people that really push you. One of my good friends, when I first moved here, he said, Miracle, don't be surprised when your circle changes. And I was defensive. I was like, what you mean? Like, my people solid. And now I know what he meant. He didn't necessarily mean that my friends were going to change. He just meant that you're going to start surrounding yourself with people who are already at levels that you're trying to be at. And that is really what I try to do, because when I'm not the smartest person in the room, I become a sponge and I learn so much. And so that's one thing that I've just learned to do. Like, Miracle, you don't always have to be the smartest person in the room. You don't want to be the most accomplished person in the room. Like, you need to surround yourself with people who can pour into you and people that you can learn from. And so that's that. Like I said, I'll do more videos just talking about, starting a business, maintaining a business. Like, I'm the person who believes in learning from other people's mistakes. I don't believe I got to go through some to learn a lesson. I'm going to let you do it, and then I'm going to learn from what you did. So I might let y'all learn from my mistakes. I'll tell y'all, let y'all in on some of the things that I've done that was dumb, some of the things that maybe blindsided me, some of the things that, I wish I had known before I really got into it. And I'm going to share that with you guys. Like I said, I'm a fun person. So, like, I'm going to get into some of these hot topics. I've watched every video about Diddy. I'm so deep into it. The prosecution could call me. They could call me and they could put me on a team, and I could help. I could help do this case, because I'm like in the thick of it. Like, aside from the fact that I was a Diddy fan, as most of us were, most millennials were, but I also like court cases. So you put them together, like, I'm deep. I'm deep in the trenches with it. So we're gonna talk about some hot topics and anything else that I feel like God lays on my heart to share with you guys. But that's it. Hope you guys like this video. More content to come. Again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like the video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Girl, I like it, like it, like it, girl, I like it, girl.